What's happening, y'all? Listen, we're gonna do the portfolio update. We're gonna do monetary policy. We're gonna talk about Jerome Powell a little bit because Jerome Powell did say that we were gonna possibly decrease interest rates, right? But this is what we've been waiting for all the time. We've been waiting for interest rates to drop. We've been paying all this money on gas. We've been paying all this money on everything. Like everything is inflated. I mean, eggs went sky high, milk went sky high, gas went so. Jerome Powell talking about we're going to decrease interest rates, and it seemed interesting, but there's an underlying factor that I want y'all to look into on why Jerome Powell wants to decrease interest rates. Right? Is it progression or is it fear? And I feel more likely that it's more regards to fear than progression, right? So we're gonna get into all that, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about Jerome Powell, we're gonna talk about stocks and crypto that I'm looking into, but we're gonna do like we usually do, and I'm gonna go into the portfolio update just to, you know what I'm saying, give the people that has been watching a little update on where we've been at. Um, but like the portfolio just jumped straight to Nvidia, like that's where we at. That's what we looking at. But on the portfolio update, I got two cryptos. I got Bitcoin. Y'all know I dollar cost average into Bitcoin. Bitcoin ain't something that I'm, planning on ever selling or nothing. We up $4.53 on Bitcoin, 12%. The bank only give you 3%, so we good on that. Nvidia up 12%, a total of what we $40 in assets. So we gonna look at I got Ethereum. I also got Ethereum in my crypto wallet too. But in Ethereum, we got $30 worth of assets. We up 6.4% on Ethereum. If y'all notice, I did put a new addition. It's a new addition to the portfolio. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't something that I did on my own accord. This was, you know what I'm saying, me and my dog, me and partner in crime, business partner Mick put me onto this. So I don't know too much about this crypto to be real, but I just put a little bit into it. We up about 2.09% total. Nothing crazy, but I put a little bit just for exposure. Going on forward from now, I know I always told y'all I was a Bitcoin and Ethereum type investor only, but now how I see the way the world is changing and finance is changing, you do need exposure to crypto. I will never have more crypto exposure than I have towards stocks because I understand business, I understand accounting and financials and all of that, but you do need exposure to crypto. So I got a new crypto exposure on the portfolio. So that's up. It's been going crazy to be real. Let's see, for the past year, it's also volatile, just like the rest of crypto is volatile. But for the year, it's up 140%. Let me share this with y'all. 140% we up for the year. Come on now. Do stocks go up 140% on the year? Do stocks go up 140% on the year? I don't know. Let's see. Let's look at Nvidia or Palantir. Let's go Palantir because I think Palantir was this year's leading stock performer. Right? So we got Palantir. Palantir, they are AI, but they have government contracts. It's a stock that I picked up at like $40 and I sold it like a dummy. But my goal on this channel is to not only give y'all my experience, but also let y'all learn from my lessons. So Palantir year to date is up 109%. I always say I wasn't going to chase it. At the highs, it was, oh, hold on, I can't even see the price. At the highs, it was 1 186. At the highs, it was 186, and now we down to 159. So if I was to consider Palantir, to be real, this is a nice spot. This is a nice spot because also when you're looking at prices, prices have levels, right? Institutions buy prices at levels. I need y'all to write this down and understand this. Institution buy prices at levels. So they understand the financials, they know the CEO, they know the companies, they know everything about it. But even if they love a company, they buy it at levels. So when everybody is excited at Palantir up here at 186, if you look right here at 156, let me make sure we're looking at the same thing, right? So if you look where it's at right now, it is currently at 157, right? We can all see that this little dip right here is 159 or 157 or whatever. But if we go back 154, that's a level. If you couldn't see, I know this go in and out when I do live, but if you go back to this dip, it it's equivalent to the same minor dip, not a big dip, but if you look to the left, it can always tell you how to move right. And if you look left, there was a bounce. If you look left, there was a bounce right here where we are currently at. So Palantir is probably an excellent. Palantir is, as far as a pickup on a portfolio, Palantir would be the best as far as stocks on a pickup portfolio. It did run up. The PE ratio is really high, but I feel like this company has great potential. I picked it up at like $40 a share and sold it like a dummy. I don't have it in the portfolio. It's a possibility. I'm not saying I'm going to get it now, but not the clickbait, y'all. We're going to go into the topic. We're going to go into the thumbnail and the headline of the conversation of this thing, right? So there is fear in the market. There is fear in the market, and I'm gonna explain to y'all why. So Jerome Powell did say that we plan to decrease interest rates soon, right? So for the uneducated mind or for the average person, they excited, like, okay, well, maybe I could buy a house. Interest rates are gonna go down on homes, and you know what I'm saying? It sounds exciting. It's like, okay, finally, because I mean, since I've been paying attention to finances, interest rates haven't been this high and stagnant for a long time. So Jerome Powell is finally talking about dropping interest rates, which, as you can see of this past week, stocks have gotten excited about the conversation. But you have to look deeper. You can't just assess based on how stocks move. Because Jerome Powell could say, I kissed my wife and it jumped. He could say, me and my wife got divorced and it dropped. It has nothing to do with the market. The market is very emotional when it comes to the chairman of the Federal Reserve speaking. It's going to react. It's going to react. So you got to take that in consideration. If Jerome Powell say something, that does not mean that it and all the stocks run. That don't mean you just follow the stocks on the run, because there's underlying reasons why Jerome Powell may be dropping interest rates. And I'm gonna get into that now. So of course, when it comes to interest rates, you have to balance the economy. You have to keep interest rates high. And our economy as Americans, we the type of people we splurge. We're gonna put it on a credit card. You know what I'm saying? We're the dumbest people when it comes to economics and finances. That's why our country thrives so much. One, because the consumer will put themselves in debt. And two, the professional, the businessman will use debt to prosper. So the businessman will use his debt to prosper, to then put advertisement and all the top brains into making the consumer go into debt, spending money. So it's a big it's a big balance between the haves and have nots. You know what I'm saying? And most people they fall for the have nots because it's like it's easier. Okay, well, this product is excellent. Let me spend all my money. Let me do all of that. So let me get into it, man. Let me get off of this rant from y'all real quick. But I want to talk about we're gonna go into the Forex factory. We're gonna see stats, right? We're gonna see the stats. So in Forex Factory, this is where I look at the Federal Reserve type information and all of that, right? So Jerome Powell spoke, right? Make sure y'all see this. Jerome Powell spoke. Control short-term interest rate may influence over national currency value to a person. Okay, that ain't what I'm looking for. Let me see what this article got to say. And when you looking on this site, it's my first time ever looking on an article on this type of site. But um, I mean, let me just keep the thing rolling, man. If you really want to see the report, I'm gonna do a YouTube short or IG on this report later on. I had a long day, went to Invest Fest, and then I came home. I had a class, man, my mentor threw classes. So I had to meet with my mentor on a class. I went to Invest Fest. So it's been a long day. My preparation for this wasn't perfect, but I just had the idea. So I'm winging it. So, um, all right. So Forex Factory is where you're going to see the Federal Reserve or any monetary policy being reported, right? So follow me on IG, Mike the Money Motivator, TikTok, anywhere, Mike the Money Motivator, and you will get that information as far as clarity, right? But let me go into the portfolio update real quick, just to see where we at on the 3 month mark, and then we're gonna go into the S&P. So on the 3 month mark, on our portfolio. This is our portfolio because we're building this together, right? So we up 16.3% in 3 months. Remember, the bank gives you what? I don't even think the bank. It's like 3%. The bank gives you 3%. So putting your money in the stock market is basically beating putting your money in the bank. The bank will give you 3% in the market. Learning what I teach you will give you 16%. If you just go off of the basic, you could get 12%. And 12% ain't bad. But I smashed the market, so I'm just trying to teach y'all to do the same thing. So in the past 3 months, we up 16.3. I like it. I like it. Um, and now let's see the SP. We're gonna look at the S&P, and the S&P in the past 3 months. Let's pull it up. I give facts, man. I ain't just gonna talk y'all to death. I'm gonna give facts, and you know what I'm saying. So the S&P in the last 3 months is up 12%. Now that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Now the thing you also got to consider is if you have $600 in the S&P, that is only one share, right? That's only one share if you have $600 in the S&P. But if you have $600 in Nvidia when it's at like 150, that's multiple shares on an asset that's going to grow a lot longer and faster than the S&P 500. So this is why I'm teaching y'all how to build your own portfolio, because the S&P 500 is great. The 12% is nice, but you can kill it if you do it right. So we gonna get into some of the fears that I see in the market, right? I couldn't really show y'all the real reports, which was like, what I'm saying, really the most important thing in regards to the fears in the market, but also Jerome Powell wanting to drop interest rates when inflation is still high. That is fear. When interest rates are dropped, it's because either the Federal Reserve feel comfortable enough, like, okay, we done kept prices high long enough, inflation done dropped, and now the economy is back to normal. But we know that's not the case. Inflation is high, people are losing jobs, and Jerome Powell is still going to drop interest rates, which means there's a possibility of a recession coming soon. And when you want to prepare for a recession, what you want to do is you want to stockpile on cash, but you also want to put healthcare. You know what I'm saying? If you've been following me, you know healthcare is insurance on your portfolio. You know what I'm saying? The insurance, the healthcare, the Coca-Cola, the Geico, the light bill company, Georgia South, whatever it is, those are insurance on your portfolio. When you see times like this coming, you not only build on those, but you also keep a little bit of cash on hand. So what I recommend or what I want y'all to do is keep a little bit of cash on hand going forward. Still invest because a lot of times there's talk about doomsday and this and that, but still invest. But I want you to invest. If you invest 50% or of your capital, then I want it to drop down to 30 and put 20% just holding in your brokerage account. Hold it in your brokerage account and get a small percentage, but at least you're getting a small percentage and you're ready for whatever. I like to be ready for whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody talking beef, okay, karate class, like you know what I'm saying, we gonna get the strap, like alarm system on the house. Like I like to be ready for whatever. And I'm gonna teach y'all how to be ready for whatever in your portfolio. So I gave y'all the portfolio update as far as how I'm beating the market. I will show y'all right now what I've added, which I think I might did already, but let me do it officially. So I added to United Healthcare, I added to Nvidia. Those are kind of like the only like things I'm really excited about right now. Mainly because Nvidia is dropping. So this week I will not be adding to Nvidia because Nvidia has been on the decline. So I want to catch Nvidia at another drop. So really the next video, if the stock market keep dropping, the next video I'm gonna go over charts and stuff like that because I want to show y'all when and why I'm gonna jump into Nvidia. The fundamentals is way more important. The financials, the PE ratio, the gross profit margins, the debt to income ratio, that is way more important, which y'all not gonna get on this. Y'all gonna get that on my course when it drop in the next month or two. I'm working on it right now, but y'all won't get the financials in the course. But the financials is way more important than the charts. You can buy stocks and be very profitable without the charts, but the charts will teach you how to snipe the bottom of the market, right? So we're gonna go back to the portfolio update. I added AVE, like I told y'all. I bought a little bit more Ethereum, nothing crazy. And then as far as stocks, I didn't do too much. I just added a little bit more of United Healthcare, right? I added a little bit more of United Healthcare because I need insurance in my portfolio, like I was telling y'all. When the tech stocks that always going up like crazy are going down, that's when you got healthcare going up. And United Healthcare is my insurance in the portfolio. I only have like 1.3% in my portfolio or shares, But for 1.3% to be up 23%, $78, we winning on that. We winning that. So this week, I'm probably gonna add to United Healthcare. To be honest, it depends. It depends. My first move might be United Healthcare, and then we go from there. But I want to talk to y'all about crypto because